performing an ode to the fourth disc. Please welcome to the stage Abby Irwin.
Ode to fourth disc on the right, mezzanine floor, my school library. You are the pinprick the sand of the hourglass slips through. I am stuck in your vice-vicious sandstorm, scorched the goosebumps on my cheekbones, every particle a paragraph, dragging hands across the Sahara of the clock-faced trailblazing paper trails, crumple essays into paper planes and hurl them towards their deadlines. My ambitions were too high. So they floated to the floor, tragic trajectories of attention spans, crashed them into seven seas. I am a castaway, cast adrift between the cracks in the system, swimming in static and stagnant ignorance, raising my hand to show I am drowning more than asking a question. What about Indigenous cultures? What about our own? Textbooks waterfall into the chasm where my brain should be. In one ear and out the other, I follow off-topic tangents like bush trails through forests of fantasy. Origami swans fly over me, twist the words I should be studying into poetry, color in textbooks, turn them into blackout poems, redacted education. My history teacher blacks out when I mention the land wars. Go on a journey through the jungle. Safari through science fiction. Ignore the tongues that are bound in leather. Ignore the spines that have been broken. Stick to the fairy tale you were raised to. Fourth desk on the right is my white knight. Ignore the bones she was built on. Love her anyways. We fight sometimes, side by side when she is invaded by colonizer textbooks in economics. We learn gentrification is a great investment scheme. In geography, the migration of minorities, as if we didn't force them out, force-fed English until I forget I am a guest here. Recite empty pepeha, dilute the Treaty of Waitangi, learn sovereignty and histories about a people half a world away in April. The Education Board refused to include the New Zealand land wars in the curriculum. For the second time in 2 years, fourth desk on the right and I are weeping. I have a calculus exam in a few weeks. Here's a practice question for you. If it takes twice the recommended intake of caffeine for me to get out of bed in the morning, how many times will my hands shake as I regurgitate the same stale information onto paper? If they use whiteboards to whitewash my education, why can't I erase it? Why can't I see the truth underneath? Oh, to fourth desk on the right, I want to propose to you, but you could model my panic with an exponential function. I can't function, they call me lost potential. I talked about Aotearoa systematic racism for my speech. My teacher's comment was how well I recovered when I stumbled on my words. Choked on statistics to a classroom taught not to listen. I have learned opinion is a synonym for detention. Fourth desk on the right, our engagement rings have turned into handcuffs. Locked in this embrace, we slow dance between burning books and censored classrooms. Soundproof lectures, it's been years since the playground. Playing games like, tell us your boyfriend's name. Now this merry-go-round gives me vertigo. Tell us your boyfriend's name. Tell us your country's name. Tell us your culture's name. I can't express this in an essay. This isn't a sonnet I can study and dissect. This is an exam with no right answers. If in doubt, shade the circle that states the education system is exactly how it should be. It gives you the best chance of passing. I have a social studies exam in a few weeks. Here's a practice question for you. Explain the modern effects colonization is having on our children. If in doubt, write nothing, say your privilege got between pen and paper, they will give you full marks. Because we pride ourselves in forgetting our histories, the reality we are living in. I guess this isn't the playground anymore. Thank you.